On the last week, gold traded as low as 1643 and as high as 1690. We are talking here about gold spot, and the numbers are rounded and the market is closed. And on the last trading session of a Friday, gold spot printed a closing price above 1682. The number is rounded and the market is closed. In terms of the daily symbol moving averages, gold is trading in a bull trend and it's above its all daily symbol moving averages, and the momentum is quite strong. And for the RSI readings, it's moderate on the daily and weekly charts. On the daily it's 62, and also on the weekly chart is 62, and we are overbought on the monthly chart, which I take it as a positive indication of high demand. For the supports, it's seen about 1650, then 1585, and then 1540. And for the resistance levels, we have so many resistance following each other: 1703, followed by 1738, and then 1750. That's all for the numbers. We'll move on now to the economic calendar. On the economic calendar for the coming week and from the United States, we are waiting for the following economic headers to be released. The retail sales, it's going to be released on Wednesday, and we will be waiting for the jobs numbers and the building permits and the housing starts all on Thursday, nothing on Friday. That's all for the economic calendar. We'll move on now to the trading strategy. Hi again. In the aftermath of the coronavirus outbreak, we can easily see that the world that we live in at the moment is going to be a different place soon when this pandemic is a part of the history. Uh, what matters here that we have seen different responses for this outbreak from different countries. On the Europe and the United States, we have seen the failure in all the means. We have seen some sort of a panic, and we have seen also that the situation goes uncontrollable. And on the other hand, we have seen that China, where the outbreak took place, basically the virus did not reach even Beijing, which is something like whether we like or not, we have to acknowledge that China is a great nation for containing the outbreak in the ways that they have followed. What matters for me here is that the world is going to be a different place, and this is going to affect anything that is traded, because we have an emerging power and a rising nation, and we have a ruling nation. The rising nation obviously is China, and the ruling nation is the United States. And whenever you look in the history, there is no one incident when there was this combination of a ruling a nation and a rising nation together at the same time. There was no incident when this sort of a combination ended up nicely or peacefully. The impact of the coronavirus outbreak on the United States was actually devastating. The virus is everywhere in the United States, and literally, the United States became the headquarters of coronavirus on Earth, not only the epicenter. What we have at the moment is the impact. Okay, I don't know what was the priorities for the administration of the United States. Is it to save the people or to save their liberty or democracy? This is not my business. My business is the impact on the business on the United States, which I see that it's going to be massively impacted in a negative way, because the economy of the United States is depending heavily on the consumer spending, and the consumer spending is going to be affected because there are so many things are going to change because even if life comes back to what it was, it's never going to be like exactly how it was before the outbreak. There's everyone has to wear a mask, and there will be the social distancing of 6 feet or more. So it's more or less the life is not going to be the same, and the economic impact on the United States is going to affect the US dollar, which is going to accelerate the world to let go the US dollar as a reserve currency, in my opinion. In our last video, we talked about gold and silver. We said buy gold if it closes above 1640 and buy silver if it closes above 15. And if you did, you have no problem at the moment. And we talked about a relief rally in the stocks market and the US stock market, which happened actually. And we talked about an opportunity in crude oil. Crude oil wasn't actually that much of a chance last week. We have seen like the prices going down, but I'm still positive on on oil, and I see oil heading back to maybe 40 to 42 by month of May. Back to gold. Gold rally at the moment is under a serious risk of a correction. And this correction is going to be maybe a deep correction. My point of view is based on the movement on the expected move in the U.S. equities. Usually, or what have happened in the U.S. equities, or why we were talking about the relief rally, because the U.S. indices were like oversold, and usually when they are oversold on weekly basis, usually there is a relief rally. But usually after the relief rally, and when the company's results comes out, you will have another deeper correction that goes minimum 4% below the low that already we have on the indices. And as you have noticed, last time a correction happened in the US equities, it took gold down with it. For trading purposes, gold futures with the close above 1730. Now they closed above, I think 1740. Uh, it's looking to 1825 and maybe 1911, the all-time highs. Uh, but keep in your mind that gold have been so much stretched, and it could pull back. And as I said, keep an eye on the US equities and their movements as well, because it's going to affect gold as well. So I would say it simply, maybe gold futures, if you will trade it, but your stop loss below 1730, somewhere like about 1725, and target 1825. And for the spot is not matching with the futures, so you can maybe keep your stop loss below 1662 and target 1738 to 1750 max to max, because they are not actually moving together, the spot and the future. Anyhow, if this case happened, if gold broke 1640, it's going to be a massive sell off that will take gold below 1450. And if the futures breaks 1700, I think you will have the same impact on the futures. So that's all for this week. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please share, like, and subscribe, and be safe. And I'll see you next week in another video.